Before continuing, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications, because if you're tired of just surviving day-to-day life, this video was made to turn the key in your life. Every day feels the same. Waking up tired, fulfilling obligations on autopilot, repeating the same routine, and go to bed with that nagging feeling that something is missing. Have you ever felt that way? Like life is passing you by, not with you? Maybe you're not failing, you're just living in survival mode without realizing it. The good news? That can change. The truth is that real success doesn't come from comfort, but from the decision to get off autopilot. And that decision starts with a powerful question: are you driving your life, or are you just being driven by traffic? While some create their own routes, others just follow other people's maps, and many don't even know they have a choice. The difference? It's an awareness. It's in taking charge. You don't need money, contacts, or ready-made formulas. What you need is a strong enough reason to get out of bed with purpose. And that doesn't come from outside. It comes from within. Self-confidence, resilience, total focus, these are muscles that you develop when you start from scratch, but with clarity about where you want to go. This video is an invitation to stop, think, and take control, not with empty promises, but with truths that no one tells you. We go together from the darkness of doubt to the light of clear direction. So, shall we get started? Because the next decision can change everything. There is nothing poetic about starting from scratch. There is no beautiful light or background music. The real scenario is a mix of silence, chaos, and noisy thoughts. Often, it is a dark room with piled up bills, unfinished ideas, and a desperate desire to change, but without knowing how. It is in this chaos that the first seeds of real success are born. There is no stage, no audience. Just you, your doubts, and a table that has seen better days. It is in this simple, almost invisible environment that authenticity begins to shine. Because those who start from scratch do not have luxury, but they do have freedom to make mistakes, to try again, and to create something that truly has purpose. And this freedom, believe me, is worth more than any privilege. Those who have never had resources need to learn to be creative in times of scarcity. And this is a superpower in disguise. You start to see solutions where others only see obstacles. And when everything is lacking, what is left is willpower, a raw, stubborn force that insists even when no one else believes in it. It is this force that sustains the first steps of the journey. Starting from scratch hurts, but it also reveals. It reveals who you really are, without masks, without external validation. It is in this moment that you choose whether you will just survive, or whether you will use the pain as fuel. And this choice, made in solitude, will define everything that comes after. And maybe, just maybe, it is in this raw scenario that you will rediscover your own greatness. Sometimes, everything changes in an instant. Not because your luck changed, but because you saw something that previously seemed invisible potential. It's as if the universe opened a crack and lent a ray of light, a signed contract, an unexpected call, a project that finally takes off. That moment when you realize that, yes, there is a way out. There is a chance. Seeing this glimpse is not fantasy. It is vision. It is like being in the middle of a climb and between the rocks, seeing the top of the mountain. You're still far away, it still hurts, but now you know it is possible. And this certainty alone changes everything. This is the point at which resilience becomes direction. You begin to walk no longer through pain, but through faith in what can become real. Anyone starting from scratch needs that spark, a powerful mental image. It could be a skyscraper that doesn't exist yet, but that you can already see, or a future where your voice has an impact, where your efforts become a legacy. This vision is more than motivation, it's purpose. It's the internal map that guides your steps when everything around you still seems to say it won't work. And this is where self-confidence comes in believing in the invisible before it becomes visible to everyone. While others doubt, you work. While others wait for results, you build foundations. This small glimpse is like a sunrise in the middle of the night, confirmation that the light is coming, and that perhaps you are closer than you think. In the silence of your mind, that firm and sometimes uncomfortable voice arises. It asks, what if you had nothing? No support, no guarantees? Only your willpower to keep going? This question is not meant to discourage you, but to challenge you to see the reality of starting from scratch with authenticity. Real success is not a privilege of those who were born with advantages. Many believe in the myth that you can only win with money, connections, or luck. But the truth is that true strength comes within, from those who are willing to get up after every fall, to seek solutions when everything seems scarce, and to maintain total focus on what really matters. This inner voice is your hidden mentor, reminding you that overcoming adversity is a matter of daily decision. It's natural to feel fear and doubt, especially when the journey seems lonely, but that same questioning voice can become your greatest ally. It provokes you to think differently, to not accept the excuses that society imposes, and to respond with courage. I can. I am capable. This internal dialogue is the basis of the self-confidence and purpose you need to move forward. So, let this voice speak loud and clear, not to paralyze, but to awaken, to show that starting from scratch is not a sentence, but a unique opportunity to build something authentic, without masks, with creativity and unwavering will. After all, whoever controls the internal narrative controls the course of your journey. You know that feeling that the world doesn't play fair? That the rules were made for others, not for you? Those who start from scratch often face this harsh reality starting behind, having fewer resources, fewer opportunities. And this can seem like an unbearable burden, almost an insurmountable barrier. But that's exactly where the real test of willpower begins. Being outside the rules of the traditional game may seem unfair, but it can also be a hidden advantage. You don't have to follow the script that everyone else has memorized. You can create your own path with creativity and scarcity and authenticity that no one can copy. The challenge is great, but the room for innovation is even greater. This isn't just another motivational video full of nice phrases. It's a real guide for those who feel like they're starting out with the worst possible scenario. Here, resilience stops being a buzzword and becomes a daily practice. That total focus of someone who doesn't have time for distractions is what will set you apart in the end. And the best part? You are not alone in this silent struggle. Many real success stories have been born exactly from the place where it seemed the game was against them. The difference between those who win and those who give up is not accepting the imposed scenario, but rewriting the rules with purpose and self-confidence. Behind every great change, there is a silent and invisible routine. Open books, scribbled notebooks, hours of study and reflection that no one sees. These moments of productive solitude are the true fuel for transformation. Those who start from scratch know that hard work does not show up in the window, but is what builds real success. It's not glamour, it's sweat. It's discipline to get up early, even if you don't feel like it. Total focus on the tasks that matter, and the willpower to keep going when your body needs rest. The change doesn't happen overnight, but rather through some of these small daily battles, fought away from the spotlight. This is where creativity and scarcity comes into play. Without much in the way of resources, you learn to do more with less, to find clever shortcuts and unusual solutions. These behind-the-scenes things reveal the true purpose to create something worthwhile, not only for yourself, but for everyone around you. 24, if you look closely, you will see that the greatest winners were not only talented, but also tireless behind the scenes. They knew how to use resilience to transform the invisible into results. Are you ready to face this stage and build your own path? There's a common myth that to succeed, you need money, connections, and prestige. But this is a trap that can rob you of focus and self-confidence. Great thinkers like Einstein and Epictetus remind us that true control lies within our minds, not in external circumstances. Starting from scratch can actually be liberating. When you understand that you don't have to wait for perfect conditions, you gain the freedom to create your own path. Often, a lack of resources becomes an invitation to be creative in scarcity, to break old rules, and to build something authentic. It's a call to develop the willpower and resilience that no amount of money can buy. History is full of examples of people who started with nothing and achieved everything through the courage to take control of their inner self. They did not allow themselves to be held back by the limitations of their environment, but used adversity as fuel to grow and reinvent themselves. This is true success, a journey of constant overcoming. So, don't wait for external approval or an ideal scenario. Focus on what depends on you, your mind, your attitude, and your will to not give up. This is a solid foundation that supports any high-performance trajectory, regardless of where you are starting from. Those who start from scratch need more than luck, they need solid foundations. The first pillar is creativity in scarcity. Imagine Jan Koum, founder of WhatsApp, who transformed limitations into pure innovation. He showed that doing more with less is not a weakness, but a strategic strength. It's what allows you to find solutions where no one else can imagine. The second pillar is the freedom to break old rules. Oprah Winfrey is a shining example of this, forging her own path away from traditional norms. When you have nothing to lose, you can dare to be authentic and build something original without fear of judgment. This authenticity is magnetic and opens doors that talent alone cannot. Speaking of self-confidence, this is a third pillar, and Elon Musk demonstrates this lesson well. He had to be his own support in difficult times, believing in the invisible when no one else did. Self-confidence forged in necessity becomes armor against doubts and discouragement, keeping you strong even in storms. The fourth pillar is total focus on what matters. Albert Einstein, despite his genius, had a fierce discipline in eliminating distractions. When you're starting from scratch, time is your most valuable resource. Using it wisely makes all the difference. Outside Death System vision, the fifth pillar, is the ability to see opportunities where insiders only see problems. Jack Ma exemplifies this by building Alibaba from scratch. The sixth pillar is results as the only currency of merit. Andrew Carnegie showed that in the end, all that matters is the real impact you generate. Finally, the seventh pillar is magnetic authenticity, being yourself without masks like J.K. Rowling, who conquered the world by telling her own truth. Together, these pillars form the basis of real success for those starting from scratch, driven by willpower, resilience, and firm purpose. When you start from scratch, you often feel like you're behind, at a disadvantage. But in reality, this is a gift in disguise. Having nothing to lose means total freedom to create your own way, without constraints or fear of making mistakes. You can dare, experiment, and reinvent, because the only way forward is forward. This freedom is a fuel for creativity in scarcity and true authenticity. Without the pressure of keeping up appearances or following well-worn scripts, you can build a unique path that aligns with your true purpose and values. This originality is what will make your true success stand out from the crowd. Having everything to prove can be scary, but it's also what keeps your willpower burning. Each challenge becomes a stepping stone, and each no an opportunity to grow. This silent struggle forges resilience that few know, transforming what seemed like a limitation into a drive for high performance. So, if you feel like you're starting from scratch, stop seeing it as a problem. See it as fertile soil, ready to be cultivated with total focus and determination. It's in this space that the greatest stories of overcoming are written, and yours could be the next. Real success is not a matter of chance, nor is it the result of sudden luck. It is the fruit of grit, an English word that means determination, perseverance, and that invisible force that keeps you going when everything else tries to knock you down. Each step taken with determination, each rejection transformed into a learning experience, is what builds a solid trajectory. Those who start from scratch understand that the path is made up of small daily battles. It's not about winning overnight, but about persisting even when no one is looking. This willpower, fueled by resilience, creates an internal engine that doesn't depend on external circumstances to function. The lack of privilege, which many see as a disadvantage, can be transformed into powerful fuel. When you take nothing for granted, every achievement takes on enormous value because it was earned with genuine effort and authenticity. This is the true measure of real success, which is not measured in status, but in overcoming obstacles. So, take some time to appreciate your grit. Recognize each step, no matter how small it may seem. The journey begins in the invisible, in the silent struggle, and that is where the true legacy is built. You are closer than you think. You just need to believe in the power of your grit. True success rarely makes noise. It doesn't appear at parties or in luxurious photos, but in the small actions of everyday life, in the silent consistency of those who know what they want. Those who start from scratch learn that daily struggle is a basis for building a life with purpose, something that goes beyond money, appearances, or easy recognition. This silent struggle is where resilience finds its maximum expression. It is the moment when you choose to keep going, even when no one sees your efforts. Purpose is born from there not to show the world what you have, but to impact and transform lives, including your own. This is the strength that keeps you fully focused and authentic. Building a legacy that comes from nothing and becomes everything requires discipline, patience, and an almost unshakable willpower. Each small step, each decision aligned with your purpose, will take you closer to the life you truly desire. It is not an easy path, but it is the only one worth taking. Ultimately, this journey transforms who you are inside. The silent struggle becomes a voice of your authenticity, the proof of your resilience, and the foundation of your true success. And that's a story that only you can tell with courage, creativity, and complete control of your journey. Sometimes the biggest obstacle is not outside, but inside our own mind. The narrative you choose to tell yourself can be the bridge to success or the wall that keeps you stuck. Anyone starting from scratch needs to ask themselves, am I telling myself that I can do it? Or am I sabotaging myself with doubts and fears? This inner voice, fueled by self-confidence and purpose, is what defines your path. If you believe that you can overcome, that willpower and resilience are your allies, you are on the right path. But if you feed on stories of failure and limitation, you will find justifications to stop before even trying. Changing the narrative is not magic. It is a daily practice. It requires total focus to replace "I can't" with "I will learn," creativity to find solutions instead of excuses, and authenticity to accept your imperfections and move forward. This process is the greatest act of overcoming that exists. Ultimately, the question remains, what story do you want to live? That of someone who simply survives, or that of someone who, even starting from scratch, create a legacy with purpose, determination, and real success? The answer lies in your hands, in your inner voice, and in the choices you make now. You've already realized that being in control of your journey isn't a matter of luck, talent, or privilege. Of a daily choice, a firm decision to start from scratch, overcome challenges, and stay fully focused on your purpose. Willpower and resilience are your greatest allies on this journey, and authenticity is what sets you apart when it comes to building something true and lasting. Now, think about it. What can you do today to take control of your life? What habits can you cultivate to strengthen your self-confidence? What small actions can you start taking now to transform your story? The power is in your hands, and every step, no matter how small, makes all the difference. Don't put off until tomorrow what you can start today. This is your chance to get out of survival mode and onto the path to real success, the kind that comes from overcoming obstacles, creativity and scarcity, and a clear purpose. Remember, the journey is yours, and so is the control. If you like this content, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and stay tuned for upcoming videos that will help you strengthen your success mindset. Your transformation starts now, and I will be here to accompany you every step of the way.